Page of Pentacles with the Three of Swords reversed. Okay. Just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay. Page of Pentacles is about slow growth and like practical thoughts. And then the Three of Swords reversed. It's healing and heartbreak, and a release. So he's thinking of you, but not romantically yet. Of that, that's the general gist that I'm getting here. Like his mind, the Page of Pentacles, kind of showing that his mind is on practical matters like work or money or something stability-ish things, not deep emotions. But if he misses you, it's in a hope they're doing well kind of way. And then the Three of Swords reversed. There's some past hurt is fading right now. If he was missing you, it's like that painful energy is dissolving right now. But he's not really. He's kind of focused on other things right now. He's building something, not so just like, yeah, he is, but not strongly. If that makes sense there, Josephine. The Tower reversed and Death reversed. Okay. Well, the Tower reversed, it's like avoiding collapse, resisting change. And then the Death reverse is about stagnation and fear of transformation. So C right now, he's kind of stuck in a cycle, some sort of pattern right now. The Tower kind of senses a dangerous connection, either some emotional chaos or some past trauma, and they're kind of actively avoiding fallout. If this isn't indifference, it's kind of like self-preservation in a way. And then the Death reverse, they're clinging to some old version of you or relationship, or they're afraid they're afraid to let it evolve or end. So if they admit how they feel, everything's going to crash. And if they don't know how to move forward, they're just going to stay frozen. If that makes sense. The Hierophant with 5 of Swords. Okay. Well, okay. So the Hierophant, it's about tradition and like commitment and the spiritual bond. And then 5 of Swords, on the other hand, it's about conflict, tension, and winning battles or losing the peace. So he misses you, but he misses the role you played, not necessarily you, if that makes sense. So the Hierophant, it's like his sense of missing you is tied to some habit or routine or a sense of duty. And then the 5 of Swords, there's some unresolved conflict here. Like if he misses you, it might be mixed with ego. It's like if he's thinking like I regret how things ended, or I hurt her, is what he's thinking right now. So the cards kind of suggest that he's theorized the past, not aching for you. If that makes sense there, Evelyn. Ace of Swords. And the Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. So, Ace of Swords, it's new idea, clarity, a decisive action. And the Queen of Wands reversed is about self-doubt, delays, or misdirected energies. So, opportunity is there, but the hesitation could stall you. The Ace of Swords, there's a clear sign to act or research financing or like a sudden deal will appear, and that's going to be your green light to get it. But the Queen of Wands reverse, it's but that fear of debt, what they call it, the buyer's remorse or something. That distraction or indecision might make you pause. So your logic is telling you do it, but your confidence is, with that Queen of Wands is kind of whispering, wait, can I really? So what it's telling you, if you find the opportunity, move fast before that self-saboteur here gets you. That makes sense there, Judith. My question marks. The Emperor reversed with the King of Swords reversed. 2 male energies reversed. All right, just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay. All right. Well, the Emperor reversed. It's about control issues or some immaturity or an unstable foundation. I guess post-divorce life lacks some structure. He may be acting cold or indifferent, but it's like a front. He's kind of struggling with authority or being alone. The King of Swords reversed. Instead of processing his emotions, he's kind of like detached or using some sharp words to hide a pain. So he's either playing the villain so he can feel powerful, or he's isolating because he's facing the divorce. Because like facing the divorce is gonna break him. If that makes sense. There? Question marks? Alright, Susie. Ace of Pentacles with 3 of Pentacles reversed. Just give me a second. Okay. So like Ace of Pentacles, it's like new love, stability, a tangible beginning. And the 3 of Pentacles reversed, it's misaligned efforts, lack of like teamwork, or some delays. There's a solid opportunity coming, but the teamwork makes the dream work kind of thing right now. If that makes sense there. Susie. The Ace of Pentacles is a grounding, promising connection, kind of is on the horizon, or your current relationship is entering more of a stable phase. Could manifest as either a new partner with a long-term potential, kind of think reliability or financial, emotionally secure. Could also be a gesture of commitment, like moving in together or a joint investment. And then the 3 of Pentacles reverse is kind of, they're telling you to beware of like imbalanced efforts. Someone or both of you isn't going to pull their weight, causing some friction. 7 of Swords with the Knight of Swords reversed. All right, just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay, Yvonne. This is the 7 of Swords. That card's about like strategy, secrecy, or caution. And the Knight of Swords reversed, about rush actions, miscommunications, and like delays. So a job change looks possible, but watch your back and your mouth. That's what they're saying. So the 7 of Swords is the job hunt's gonna kind of require tactical moves. So you might need to like keep plans private, avoid gossip, negotiate carefully, like benefits, salary, or things like that. And then the Knight of Swords reverse is telling you to kind of avoid impulsive decisions. Rushing could lead to like poor fitting roles, like take any job energy, and kind of, or it could also burn bridges, like a blunt email or a frustrated interview. So it's telling you to just keep it low key, I guess. So there's a warning here. It's like someone or you isn't being fully honest. So just double check the offers before you're committing. If that makes sense there, Yvonne. Right, Ayanda, you got the Magician reversed with 2 of Pentacles. Right. Just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay. So, the Magician reverse, it's about manipulation, like an untapped potential and misdirection. And then the 2 of Pentacles is about balance, financial flexibility, and adaptability. Oh my God, adaptability. There he goes. That's the word. So the potential is going to be there, but you'll need to navigate it carefully. That's what it's saying. The Magician reverse, there may be like a hidden factors or deliberate delays affecting your payout. Someone could be withholding information or mismanaging the process. And then the 2 of Pentacles, it's kind of suggesting movement in your finances, possibly like a pending decision or negotiation, or kind of like a need to juggle the options. That's the 2 of Pentacles. All right, Samuel, you got the Knight of Swords reversed and the 7 of Swords. All right, well, Knight of Swords reversed. That's about impulsive decisions and miscommunication and like financial recklessness. And the 7 of Swords is strategy, caution, and like potential deception. So improvement is going to be possible, but like only if you avoid those pitfalls. So the Knight of Swords reversed, your finances are are suffering from some rash moves, either hasty spending or poorly planned investments, or a lack of a follow through, like an unpaid invoice or an ignored budget. And then the 7 of Swords, it could be someone or you might be cutting corners, or you're missing some key details in a contract or an agreement. So there's kind of a warning here. Because if you keep on doing what you're doing, your finance is going to be shaky. But if you adapt, you're going to be able to outmaneuver those challenges. So it's a heads up there. Samuel. Knight of Cups with 8 of Swords. All right. Excuse me. So the King of Cups, it's about emotional maturity, like compassion and stability. And then the 8 of Swords is about feeling trapped or like imposing your self-limits, kind of like a victim mindset. So they could return, but only if they break free from their own stuff that they're going on. So they got to get through some things before they come back. The person, either one of them, one or both, has some sort of emotional depth and cares, but they're kind of prioritizing their peace over a confrontation. That's what this. If they return, it'll be from a place of clarity, not because of drama. And then the 8 of Swords, it's kind of saying like right now they're kind of stuck in their head. They're either overthinking or some fear of rejection or blinded by pride. So like if they're mature enough, they'll reach out. But if they stay in that 8 of Swords mode, they're going to keep spinning their thoughts in silence. If that makes sense there. Junior. You got Death, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And the Page of Pentacles. So Death, the Death card, it's about endings and rebirth. And then the Page of Pentacles is about new opportunities, learning, and now practical growth. So your success requires a kind of like a complete redo, like a metamorphosis, but the seeds are kind of already there, if that makes sense. The death, it's like a major life chapter is going to end, either a career or a mindset or your identity. Um, it isn't just like change; it's kind of like an upgrade. So the success won't look like what you once imagined. And then the Page of Pentacles there, it's going to be about a grounded new beginning. Think like education or financial stability, but it's going to be a slow but sure passion project. So the key here is like death is going to clear that old so that Page can bring in that first step to the new. And that's going to bring that success for you there, Lithar. Okay. Okay, so the King of Cups reversed. It's about emotional avoidance or moodiness and like immaturity. And that Eight of Wands is like swift communication, momentum, and urgency. So there's mixed signals ahead, but the ball's going to be in her court. The King of Cups there reversed. She's withholding like an emotion or sending hot, cold vibes. This could mean like she's either unsure how she feels and kind of avoiding the confrontation, or she's aware of your expectations but deliberately stalling. That makes sense. And then that Eight of Wands, it's like a message could come suddenly, especially if like something pushes her to it, to either a mutual friend or some social media activity. I don't know if she's watching this or not, kind of thing. So the catch is like the Eight of Wands is saying soon, but that King of Cups reverse is kind of don't expect depth. So she's reaching out, but it could just be casual and non-committal. That makes sense there, David. All right. Glad that resonated with you. You got the Seven of Wands reversed with Death reversed. Okay. Again, death isn't necessarily a bad thing. So just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. All right. So Seven of Wands reversed. It's avoiding conflict, compromise, and like emotional exhaustion. And then the Death reverse is about resisting change, stagnation, and like a fear of transformation. So the potential's gonna be there, but the path is gonna be kind of fraught with unaddressed tensions. That makes sense. The Seven of Wands reversed. One or both of them are avoiding that hard conversation about faith, like family pressure or cultural difference, which kind of leads to like a superficial compromise. Like they're going to figure it out later. And like some quiet resentment, either fearing backlash from loved ones, and that Death reversed. It's kind of like the relationship is stuck in a limbo to neither evolving or ending. The marriage isn't going to happen until they both confront that spiritual, emotional rebirth that's going to be required. So they're going to face a lot of discomfort, but it could create a new kind of a blended path. So if they stay in that Seven of Wands reverse mode, they're going to keep dodging those issues until it erodes the relationship. So they're gonna have to figure out how to blend everything together, if that makes sense there. You got the Eight of Wands reversed with the Eight of Swords reversed. Okay. So the Eight of Wands reversed, it's about delays, miscommunication, and like frustrated momentum. And the Eight of Swords reversed is breaking free, like a new perspective, and like releasing limitations. So together, kind of seeing that you're stuck in a cycle of waiting and self-doubt, but the liberation is going to be coming pretty near. Eight of Wands reverse, it's about external forces like either people, logistics, or like technology that are blocking some sort of progress. The emails either are going unanswered or plans are going stale. I'm kind of stuck in the reply all chaos thing right now. And then the Eight of Swords reverse, it's about like a mental prison you've been in, kind of starting to crack. You're realizing that you're not actually trapped. You just kind of been overthinking a lot of things. So that Eight of Swords reverse, or Eight of Wands reverse is saying like, stop pushing, just recalibrate. And that Eight of Swords reverse is saying like, your worst case scenario isn't real. If that makes sense, Alicia. The Sun and the Ten of Swords. Okay. So the Sun, it's about joy, warmth, and like authenticity. And the Ten of Swords is about painful endings, betrayal, or hitting rock bottom. That's why I was like, okay, they're very they're very opposite, very polar. It's a mix of genuine love with unresolved wounds. So the Sun, at her best, she sees you as a source of light, like someone who makes her child happy, or she may admire your confidence and your warmth, or the way you brought some positivity into situations. But that Ten of Swords, there's also that deep-seated pain in there. It could be like an insecurity, feeling like replaced by you, or like a resentment over a past conflict, if that makes sense. Even if it's unspoken, like in her head. Could be a sense of loss, like her child's independence or her role in a family. So there's a paradox there. It's like she truly cares, but her actions might sometimes feel like knives at your back, if that makes sense. All right, Chris, you got Six of Cups with the Lovers. Okay. So the Six of Cups, it's about nostalgia, familiarity, community support, and the Lovers is about alignment, choices, like heart-driven decisions. So there's these two cards at least saying, yeah, but success is going to hinder on who and why you involved. Like this, okay, the Six of Cups. Your business is gonna thrive if it taps into like the local community, loyalty, like serving that neighborhood needs, the personal connections, like family, friends supporting you, and like a nostalgic or like a heartfelt concept, something that kind of feels familiar to the customers. And then the Lovers, it's like a make or break moment, requiring like clear values, like why did the business exist and who is it really for, and it's also about strategic partnerships, like choosing collaborators wisely. Card kind of warns against misaligned alliances, so they're suggesting it's going to open, but it's going to depend on emotional resonance and ethical foundations. If that makes sense there. The Ace of Wands with Ten of Cups. Okay. All right, Chelsea. So the Ace of Wands here, it's about a new inspiration, like a creative spark or potential. And the Ten of Cups is about emotional fulfillment, harmony, and joy. So these two at least say, yes, you're kind of on the brink of something kind of fulfilling. So you're doing something right. The Ace of Wands, it's saying like you're being called to like embrace a new passion, project, or a path. It's kind of a very clear green light to start something from the universe. So your actions are kind of aligning with something fresh or energizing. And that Ten of Cups, so your efforts are leading towards a deep emotional satisfaction. So kind of think like family harmony or personal joy or like a sense of belonging. So a bigger picture here is like the Ace of Wands is kind of telling you to keep following that fire in your belly. It's kind of leads you to the right place. And then the Ten of Cups saying it's like, isn't just going to be good, it's going to be like soul level good. If that makes sense there. Chelsea. Okay, that one fell off. Got strength with Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Give me a second, Daniela. Gather my thoughts. Okay. So, Daniela, the Queen of Pentacles there is about nurturing, stability, and like practical love. And that strength is inner power, patience, and soul connecting. So the relationship has potential, but only if if both of you grow into your highest self. If that makes sense. The Queen of Pentacle here is saying like, if he returns, it could be because he values security and loyalty, and that tangible care, not just passion. You kind of embody that energy. It's like, are you willing to keep giving it like that? And that strength, it isn't about like fate. It's about like a choice. Like the bond there is real, but it's going to require like courage, like maybe facing some past flaws or some past hurt, and that gentleness. So you're going to have to like trust that process, but not force the outcome. But the truth here kind of is saying that if he steps up that strength energy, you could build something a little more enduring with that Queen of Pentacles. But if not, you're going to realize your worth and just kind of walk away with grace. If that makes sense, sir. Daniela. King of Swords. Justice. All right, Junior. So the King of Swords, it's about intellect, clarity, and authority. That Justice card's about fairness, consequences also, and karma. So it's success is going to be within reach, but it kind of demands precision and integrity. So the King of Swords, it's about you have that mental sharpness to ace that exam, but the card's kind of urging strategic studying. So just focus on the weak areas, use logic over like cramming, and then have that confidence in your knowledge. Don't second guess yourself, just trust what you learned. And that Justice, it's what your future kind of hinges on. Just make sure you're prepared. You're gonna get what you earned in that ethical choice. Like cutting corners now will kind of backfire later card. So the verdict here that you'll pass, but don't take shortcuts. So the future for success part, it's guaranteed if you align your actions with like long-term goals. That Justice rewards discipline. That makes sense there. Junior. 3 of Cups and 6 of Pentacles for Brony. All right. Just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. All right. The 3 of Cups, it's about celebrations, like friendship and community. And that 6 of Pentacles, it's like generosity, balance, and like mutual support. It's saying yes, but your bond's going to be tested by like external pressures. The 3 of Cups, it's like your relationship's going to kind of thrives in joyful social environments, especially Germany's culture is going to amplify all that stuff from like festivals, maybe like new friends and like new adventures together. And that 6 of Pentacles, it's like practical changes, like think like visa, finances, and jobs, stuff like that will arise. But you're going to support each other fairly, but there's also a warning of that. So just avoid resentment, if that makes sense. So just like tracking who gives, takes emotionally and financially. And then just, it's warning to seek help. Local networks and like expat communities, which are everywhere now. So the key here, the 3 of Cups is saying like you're gonna love building a life together, and the 6 of Pentacles is saying something more like, but it's gonna depend on staying balanced, not just in love. If that makes sense there, Brony. All right, Juanita, you got Temperance and 7 of Pentacles reversed. So Temperance, it's about patience, balance, and alchemy. 7 of Pentacles reverse, frustration, imbalance, and reevaluation. So like, it's like the first question was about, will you get back together? It's maybe, but not yet. It's kind of, right now it's kind of a time for inner work, not like forcing reconciliation. It's like if you unite, it'll be after both of you have grown individually. And that 7 of Pentacles is kind of like warning either one or both of you are questioning if the relationship was worth the effort. So there's a exhaustion here. It's like tending to a garden that hasn't bloomed yet sort of situation. So like if you both commit to healing, with that Temperance card, the reunion is going to be possible. But that 7 of Pentacles reversed, it's kind of saying, are you sure you want to replant that same seed? As for the is she gonna like your voice recording, that Temperance is gonna kind of do a mixed reaction. She may, kind of like she's pouring that through, she may appreciate the sentiment, but feels kind of conflicted, either some like nostalgia versus hesitation situation. And that 7 of Pentacles reversed is kind of saying that she's kind of over analyzing it or comparing it to some past dynamic. So her heart is torn, but her logic side is skeptical. If that makes sense. There. Juanita. Mandy, you got 6 of Cups with the 9 of Cups reversed. Right, give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. Okay. All right, Mandy. So the 6 of Cups is about generosity, fairness, a balanced exchange. No, that's 6 of Pentacles. Excuse me. Hold on. Hello, Zeus. My dog Zeus decided to show up. How's it going? Okay, bye. Excuse me. It's the Six of Pentacles. It's about nostalgia and like kindness and past connections. Oh, TT Dragon knows FN. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Mine went whoop. Six of Cups. Excuse me. And the Six of Cups, nostalgia, kindness, past connections. Nine of Cups reversed is smugness, kind of hidden motives, like emotional excess also. So T intentions are warm, but kind of maybe tied to the past, not the present. The Six of Cups is kind of saying that T's behavior feels familiar or nostalgic, like they're acting out of from old habits, a shared history or a sense of loyalty, which kind of means what it could mean that they genuinely care because of your past bond. It also might be stuck in like how things used to be, but not seeing you as they are now. And that the Nine of Cups reversed. Is there kind of, but there's kind of like a risk of an emotional manipulation, whether it's intentional or not. T might kind of use kindness to guilt trip you and maybe assume you owe them something because of your history. So it's a warning. Says that their T's heart may be in the right place, but their ego is along for the ride. Ten of Wands and Five of Swords. All right, Malana. The Ten of Wands, it's about a burden, an overwhelm, or carrying too much. The Five of Swords, it's about conflict, tension, winning battles but losing peace. The relationship is kind of like at a breaking point. It sounds like looks like it's being weighed down by exhaustion or some unresolved conflict. The Ten of Wands, one or both of you feel drained. Like you're feeling like you're doing all the emotional heavy lifting. It could stem from like an unbalanced effort. You're either overgiving and the other person's passive, or some external pressure, either from like family, work, or a past baggage is straining that connection. And then the Five of Swords, it's kind of like some toxic friction, looks like harsh words, a power struggle, or like a sense of winning an argument but losing intimacy. Does that make sense? There, Milana. All right, Chrissy, you got the Knight of Cups reversed with the Six of Wands. All right, just give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. The Knight of Cups reversed. It's about emotional immaturity, like a broken promises and unreliable. And then the Six of Wands, it's a victory, recognition, and like success. So are they going to message you back? The Knight of Cups reverse kind of suggests a mixed signal and kind of an unreliable communication. They may like message back impulsively and then just ghost you again, or avoid responding altogether, kind of due to guilt the indecision or like immaturity, or like maybe send a vague message also, or a confusing reply, kind of leaving you more frustrated. And like where it's going in the relationship, I guess, is that what you meant? If that was what you meant. The Six of Wands says kind of like if they do step up, this could lead to like a public or a celebrated relationship, but like social recognition, meeting friends, or like a power couple dynamic. But that Knight of Cups reversed is warning that they may not be emotionally stable enough to sustain it kind of long. So like the advice it's kind of giving is like if they wanted to, they will. This is the energy on the Knight of Cups is kind of flaky. This is don't rearrange your life for breadcrumbs. And then the Six of Wands is kind of focus on your own wins. Would they make you feel proud or like celebrated regardless of them? So do you want the relationship that all kind of shows but no emotional depth is what it's saying. Not forever, maybe just with this person. Alright, Lena, you got the Six of Pentacles reversed with the Five of Pentacles reversed. You got Hephaestus. Work. Alright. Okay, I think I got it. So, Hephaestus is... Oh. Hi, Zeus. My dog. Speaking of... Even my dog kind of mixes in with this. Anyway, Hephaestus is about hard work and patience and, like, unseen efforts. The Six of Pentacles reverse is about imbalance, some power struggle, strings attached. The Five of Pentacles reversed is about recovery, letting go of lack, and like rising from hardship. So he may reach out, but only when he's worked through his own struggle. Hephaestus is like the craftsman god. Like he's in his workshop, but meaning he's like focused on his own challenges, like pride or a past wound, or like that. If he reaches out, it'll be after he like rebuilds confidence. But don't wait for it. That Six of Pentacles reverse, that of like unequal giving. There's an imbalance in your dynamic. Like one of you gave more, either emotionally or like financially, maybe. He may feel guilt or resentful about it, which is kind of holding him back. And that Five of Pentacles reverse, that moving on, so he's starting to recover from that low point, either from like maybe loneliness, a financial stress, or an emotional isolation. But once he feels stable enough, he may reach out, but not from a place of neediness. Hephaestus is kind of saying like kind of give him space to forge his own feelings. The Six of Pentacles reverse is just don't settle for unequivocal effort. And then the Five of Pentacles reverse is focus on your own abundance. You can't rush him. He'll reach out when he's done processing things. The Knight of Cups with Two of Wands reversed. Celine. Okay. Just give me a second. So the Knight of Cups, it's about romantic, emotional, and idealistic. The Two of Wands reversed is indecision, missed opportunities, or like lack of planning. So like the cards here are saying like his outcome depends on emotional clarity versus avoiding decisions. So the Knight of Cups is about like the romantic dreamer. He's kind of operating from heart over logic, which could mean like a positive emotional breakthrough, which if he leans into vulnerability and unrealistic expectations, like if he's waiting for a sign instead of acting. And then the Two of Wands reverse is like a stalled vision. He's hesitating on a key choice, which could delay progress. Without a clear plan, opportunities might slip. So if he chooses to move forward, the outcome would be positive, but if he's stuck, he's going to regret not seizing the moment. That's what these two cards here say. Celine. All right, Bella, you got Six of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. All right, just give me a second. And with these cards, the Six of Wands is about victory, recognition, and success. And then the Queen of Pentacles is nurturing, abundance, motherly energy. So the motherhood is in your future, and the timing aligns with your personal growth. So that Six of Wands, it's suggesting sooner rather than later. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not licensed to anything. I'm just reading what the cards say. Especially like if you've been hoping or wanting this, you may receive public recognition for your motherlyhood, either like baby showers and celebrations, or even social media joy if you post about it. Could also kind of indicate a competitive process, like either from fertility treatments or adoption approvals ending in success if you went that route. And then the Queen of Pentacles, it's that mother archetype kind of card. You're already embodying that nurturing energy, whether it's like for kids or for pets or the mother of a project or for others, kind of that type of energy. So the card kind of promises like a stable, abundant motherhood when the time comes. If it's later for some reason, it's because you've been building your security first. You're making sure your home, the career, and your relationships have a good foundation about it. So the big picture, biggest picture I can get from these two cards is that you won't just become a mom, you're going to thrive as one. The Star reversed with the Ten of Cups reversed. So anyway, that card, the Star reversed, it can indicate like helplessness, like the lack of faith or an unfilled desire in a relationship. It might mean like disillusionment or insecurity. And then that Ten of Cups reverse, it kind of often signifies disharmony in a relationship, either from a broken family tie or unfilled emotional expectation. So between these two, if it's about that marriage, about wanting to have marriage, about wanting to get married, the Star reverse and the Ten of Cups reverse can imply that it might not be entirely sincere or committed about about that marriage. There may be some unresolved emotional issues or like a lack of connection. Queen of Cups with The Knight of Cups reversed. Ooh, it's getting warm. Okay, so the Queen of Cups, it's about like intuition, emotional depth, and nurturing. Knight of Cups reversed is emotional immaturity, moodiness, and broken promises. So the interpretation that I can see here is that your life is dancing between either emotional wisdom and the temptation to indulge in fantasy, maybe like some escapism sort of thing. The Queen of Cups is your strength right here. It's because you possess kind of like profound empathy and intuition. Just trust it. It's gonna the energy here is gonna thrive when you listen to your heart and you create that safe space for people or yourself to feel kind of deeply. The Knight of Cups reverse is your challenge. Just beware of like unreliable people, that charming but flaky kind of people, and your own escapism, just like daydreaming or clinging to unrealistic hopes. So the card's kind of asking, like, what are you ignoring? Because something is kind of feeling romantic because of the cups. Just kind of beware of all that with that reversed. The bigger picture here is like you're like a steady ocean, but because of the water, but others or your own whims are kind of being unpredictable. So just protect your emotional energy right now. Not everybody deserves your feelings, your depth. Q is closed. Two of Pentacles reversed with the Four of Swords. Oh, thank you for the dino beans and the teddy bear, or the gummy bear. So the Two of Pentacles reversed is about imbalance, overwhelmed, poor prioritization. That Four of Swords is about rest, reflection, and recovery. Love is possible for you, but not until you rebalance your own energy first. So the Two of Pentacles is kind of like that chaotic priorities thing right now. So you're judging too much, you're juggling too much. Either too much work, too much stress, or some old wounds. You're not really leaving enough space for that love. This imbalance kind of pushes a potential partner away. Kind of they sense you're not emotionally available. You probably give it some vibe like that. The Four of Swords, it's kind of the pause before the love card here. The universe is kind of asking to step back and heal. And it's just release past relationship baggage if you had any of that. Just recharge your heart. There's something you're holding on to that's giving off a weird vibe for people, if that makes sense. So you can't add love if your plate's kind of overflowing with other things right now. So just solitude now, love later. 10 of Pentacles with Justice. I think. The Ten of Pentacles is about wealth, which is a good sign, legacy, and long-term security, and Justice is about fairness, balance, and karmic rewards. So whichever career that is going to work for you, for these, at least for the cards are saying, is something that combines tradition and ethics that would lead to like a long-lasting abundance. So you're meant for a path that kind of builds generational wealth, either like real estate, family business, or in investments. It's a path that kind of values stability, either in a corporate role or a government job or an established industry. Government jobs, if you can get it, or you can work for a city or you can work for the state. Those also are government told jobs, and something that serves the community, either like financial advising or estate planning or heritage trades, if you can get up to that part, because that also kind of makes more money. That justice card, it's saying that success is going to come from like choosing integrity over shortcuts. Excuse me. Like ethical finance, maybe law or compliance kind of things. Either or like by righting imbalances, like careers in social justice, maybe in HR or conflict resolution. It's kind of a reaping what you sow. So it's constant effort's gonna eventually guarantee rewards. So together here, your wealth will kind of come from doing things the right way, even if it takes a little longer. That makes sense there. Die. You got Helen of Troy. Beauty. The Lovers reversed. And the World reversed. Which, again, doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It's just... Alright, let's give me a second so I can gather my thoughts. My last thought of the day. Okay, I think I got it. So, like, Helen of Troy, obviously she's about beauty, choices, and also consequences. The Lover's reverse is like misalignments, indecision, fear of commitment. And then the World reverse is incomplete cycle, delays, and resistant to change. So here it's kind of saying a decision's going to happen, but it may not be the one you're hoping for. That Helen of Troy card is like the situation's at a crossroad, kind of like her infamous decision, love versus duty, I think it was. Yeah. For someone or both of you, that you must choose kind of between passion or like practicality. The Lovers reversed is kind of like avoiding the inevitable card here. There's kind of fear behind the delay, like a fear of making the wrong choice or losing what's familiar, even if it's unfulfilling. And worst case scenario, though, the indecision may lead to like no decision. That's the worst case scenario this way. And the World reversed is it's about like not yet closure. The universe is kind of saying the chapter isn't ready to end, but you may need to like release control. Either forcing a decision now could like backfire if you do that, or like kind of completing like a personal lesson first, either like self-worth or boundaries kind of a thing. So the Helen of Troy with the Lovers reverse is a decision will eventually be made, but it may take longer than a few months because of the World reversed. If it does happen soon, though, it's going to get messy, kind of like her drama, or it's going to be half-hearted. The Lovers reversed. See you guys tomorrow. Hasta luego and Sai Chin.